The past couple months, my wife has been complaining about our cats. She's been complaining that the cats wake her up constantly and that she's frustrated every night that she has to get up and open the door for the cats, or the cats keep making noises, or the cats keep jumping on her. It's got to the point where she started saying she wants me to get rid of them. I told her I've never seen or heard any of this, but she claims I sleep through it all. She kept telling me she was getting less and less sleep and kept acting aggressive, blaming lack of sleep on the cats and that if I didn't get rid of them, she'd leave me. I legitimately started considering giving the cats to my sister, until I noticed something. One morning, she claimed she'd gotten up multiple times throughout the night to help the cats. She listed a bunch of times. I thought it was weird because I'd been up until 4 a.m. and she claimed that she got up at 1 a.m. to open the door for them and a few times around 3 a.m. because they were meowing and jumping on her. I was in the bedroom the entire time while she slept and I know none of that happened. Things weren't adding up, so I decided to run a test. I waited until she said she was going to bed and then I left the cats out of our bedroom, lowered my phone brightness and faked going to sleep. I just laid there in bed for the entire night, bored, but I definitely did not fall asleep. I made sure to make timestamps every 30 minutes on my phone through Discord just to be sure. I marked down every noise my cats made. One cat had jumped down from something and made a little sound at 3:18 a.m, and one ate food relatively quietly by the bedroom door at 4:57 a.m. Other than that, nothing happened. Sure enough, my wife slept from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m, and that morning she claimed she had woken up at least 7 times to open doors and from cat noises and cats jumping on her. At this point I was mad because she was clearly lying to me. I was exhausted and fed up with the lies, so I just bluntly called her out on it. I told her, "That's funny, I stayed up all night to monitor the cats and they weren't even in the room at all last night. I have timestamps and everything. So you've been lying to me and trying to convince me to get rid of my cats. Why?" She just sat there quietly shaking and looking irritated, then got up and left without answering. She came back hours later and ignored me whenever I talked, and when I asked her how I'm the bad guy in this situation, she finally said that I was treating her like a child by lying about sleeping and staying up all night just to see if she was lying or not, and that making timestamps and everything as if I was an investigator was going too far and makes me an obsessive idiot. I did it because she was threatening to make me get rid of my cats or she'd leave me, and her claims didn't add up, so am I an obsessive idiot? Come on, you know you're not the idiot here. You live with a sociopath who got mad that you called out and proved her lying. You can tell a lot about a person's character by how they treat animals. That she'd stoop that low and react that way says it all. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with someone who would do that? I'd be telling her to find other accommodations. There's no way I'd stay married to someone who would do that. She's a manipulative liar who is trying to make you get rid of your cats. Pets are not accessories. When you adopt them, it's a lifetime commitment. Do not traumatize your cats by giving them up for this awful woman. The cats are an excuse. If you got rid of them, she would move on to a different problem, guessing she isn't happy but doesn't want to be the divorce initiate. Not the idiot. There's no reason I can see why she feels the need to lie about your cats being trouble when they're doing nothing wrong. Unless she's looking for an excuse to leave you but wants you to be the one to initiate the breakup, or she just doesn't like cats. Those are the only 2 reasons I can think of. You might want to look into getting a divorce lawyer though. Not the idiot, but I can't help but wonder if your wife has some type of sleep disorder. I suffer from insomnia and fall asleep for just a few minutes at a time some nights and have very vivid, realistic dreams. When I get up in the morning, I struggle sometimes to figure out what was real and what was just a dream. Has she recently switched meds or doses? I work in a pharmacy and I've heard some weird stories involving antidepressants and sleep issues. It's possible, theoretically, but she's never mentioned such a thing. She used to get good sleep until recently though, even though we had the cats prior. We're just under 30, her a little younger than I. Neither of us does sugar, though she's on antidepressants. She doesn't like talking about medications because it reminds her that she's flawed. She might have also changed meds recently. Certain meds can cause vivid dreaming, so vivid you think they're real. If this just began recently, it's possible that she either changed medications or changed doses and is now having vivid dreams that she believes are real. I would start by talking with her and suggesting the possibility that she's dreaming about the cats rather than lying. I've always had issues with my mom. She's petite and thin, and she's always taken so much pride in her skinniness. She would constantly mention how she only weighed 100 pounds. She would never eat anything with too much sugar and would even announce skipping meals because she gained weight. I was always a chubby kid since I was little. I loved food. Ever since I was 10, she started making snide comments. Things like, "You're so cute, but you would look better if you were skinny. Do you ever want to be skinny like your friends? People only like you if you're skinny. And worst, you're the only fat one in this family. You're an embarrassment." She put me on diets a lot. She would check my weight every morning and act upset if I gained weight. They weren't healthy diets either, and I lost a lot of weight. No protein, just veggies and things like that. She would shrink my meals for the day if I gained weight. Even if I was at a friend's house, she would constantly spam my phone asking me what I'm eating, asking what food there is, and reminding me to not eat. This really messed me up and follows me even until today. I went through a lot of pain due to this, probably some form of an eating disorder too. I have a younger little sister. She's not chubby at all. The doctor said she's fine. She just has round cheeks, a bit of a belly, like most kids her age do. My mom has been making comments towards her lately. My sister would eat a cookie and my mom says, "You're getting a bit chubby lately," or even things like, "Being fat is ugly, don't eat that." It makes me upset and I've tried talking to her, but she just dismissed me. Today, me and my mom were driving in the car today and my mom said something like, "Don't you think sister name is getting kind of fat?" And I was just so shocked I couldn't say anything. My mom goes, "I'll put her on a diet, like I did with you that one time." I snapped back to reality and whispered something like, "That diet was horrible, it messed me up mentally." And my mom replied, "But you got skinny. Your sister has to lose weight before she realizes what an embarrassment it is for herself." And I lost it. I don't even remember what I did. I barely remember anything except a lot of screaming and shouting, but I remember telling her that she can't put a literal child on a diet and can't fat shame her with these little comments. The only other thing I remember from that argument is that I told her she doesn't deserve to be a parent, if that's what she's going to do. After that, my mom told my dad and they both turned on me. They said, "How could you say that to your mother?" And now they're both giving me the silent treatment. Am I the idiot here? I do think I was really harsh and it was probably a bit dangerous given we were driving and could have gotten into an accident, but it's hard to explain. I just kind of blacked out and all these emotions from my childhood just poured out and I couldn't stop crying and screaming at her. You are not the idiot. I mean, it sounds like you laid it on pretty rough, but diets like that are extremely unhealthy for a child. There are so many things that could be messed up in the long run. Children need a balanced diet while they're growing, and that includes sweets and some unhealthy food. You are not the idiot. Your mother is going to do physical harm to your sister. She probably also did physical harm to you. Little kids are supposed to be gaining weight in order to grow, not lose weight or holding their weight steady. If your sister is losing weight, or not putting on weight at a reasonable rate, she is suffering from malnutrition and undernutrition. This can cause lifelong health consequences. If your mother starts your sister on a diet, call CPS and tell them that your mother is denying your little sister food if she puts on weight and you're concerned she's suffering from malnutrition. This is a very serious problem. Not the idiot. Your mother is prioritizing appearance over health. Looking good isn't worth it if your mental health is in a bad place. Mental health can absolutely affect physical health. Your mom's obsession with weight can instill disordered eating habits in you and your sister, and that can affect your physical health later in life. So, background. I am from a large family. My parents are middle class retired. My boyfriend of 10 years got drunk last night and promised his 90-year-old mom that we would get her to Hawaii because she's always wanted to go. I'm cool with this. I agree to try to help figure it out with him and save so we can send her. Important note, I'm currently the only one with any income. He makes no money but is opening a business. Upon hanging up with his own mom, he immediately calls my mother, non-stop until she answers, then says, "Mom, I need to send my mom to Hawaii because it's her dream and we can't afford it. How can we make this happen?" I shut it down right there. I cannot believe he called my mom to ask for that kind of money without even discussing it with me first to see how I felt about the plan. I would not have agreed to this. He became belligerent, called me every disgusting name under the sun, told me that I've disrespected his mom and I don't care about her, and eventually told me we're breaking up. He continued screaming at me for the hour ride home, and we slept separately last night. Usually he comes in the morning with an apology, but today I woke up to him cussing and throwing stuff around the kitchen. When I asked if I could help him, he responded, "No." I asked if he's still angry about last night, and he says he's livid and doesn't want to talk. Am I the idiot? Am I missing something that I should be seeing? We called his mom at his insistence, and I told her I wouldn't let him ask my mom for the money, and she was fine with it, which ticked him off more. Open to hearing the truth. Whoa, hold up. Usually? Is this a pattern? Oh no, he said you two were breaking up? Take him up on this. He's got a lot of nerve to ask your parents for money like this, and then being mad when you didn't appreciate him overstepping you to ask your parents. Talk about entitlement. Absolutely not the idiot. If his mother is 90, then he has to be somewhere around 50 years old. A 50-year-old man with no income who gets drunk and calls your parents to ask for money. A 50-year-old man who screams and cusses and throws things. Just laying it out there. You are not the idiot, but if you stay with this person, then you will be. Not the idiot. The fact that he feels not only entitled to your money, but your parents' money, and then throws a full-out tantrum when he gets shut down, tells me everything I need to know about this relationship. Time to throw the whole man out. Seems like this is the worst of a long series of toxic tirades from your boyfriend. You were already generous to agree to contribute to the trip. His actions are unreasonable and disrespectful to you and your mom. You are not the idiot, but stupid for being with this person for 10 years. Don't waste another 10 years of your life with him. It's hard to leave someone you've invested so much time in, but your life will only get better if you leave. My wife and I are in the process of selling one of our homes that's located in a very sought-after city in our state. The schools are top-notch, the community is safe, and there's an active scene for people of all ages. I was fortunate enough to inherit my dad and mother's homes, and we've decided to sell my mom's home to pay for my children's college expenses and retire a bit early. Getting a home in this city is challenging, I guess. When a home hits the market, it's usually gone by 72 hours, and that's only because there's a bidding war. It's a good time to be a seller but not buyer at all. From what I'm reading, it's only going to get worse too, but I'm tired of caring for 3 properties, so one has to go. My wife and I will remain in our home while the last one will be lived in by my kids, while in college. We listed the house last week officially and received between 30 and 45 offers in the first day, most of which didn't even walk the house and have turned down a home inspection just to get in the home much quicker. Times are different now. People write letters, drop by to chat, and do other things that I've never had to deal with when buying a home. I feel bad for them in all honesty. The issue comes with making a deal with choosing a buyer. My wife and I disagree on who to sell to. We have serious offers from someone we know who will sell it on next year, an offer from someone who's going to rent it out, and 3 families. I know these things because I looked into the flipper, the renter, and the families. It doesn't take much to find out stuff these days. My wife says it doesn't matter what someone does to a home they own and that it belongs to them. I agree with her 100%, but until I sell it, it's mine, so that logic should apply to me as well, right? I want to sell it to one of the families. All of them are offering $30,000 to $35,000 over asking price, while the other 2 are offering $50,000 over asking. I want people to enjoy having a home of their own and adding to the community. The 3 families are all different ethnic backgrounds, but I want to sell to the black household. This community doesn't have much diversity outside of white and Indian people, so I feel like I would be doing something half decent. My wife is angry because I'm giving up money. Look, I value my wife, but she would be the first to tell you she never helped with the house. She didn't help maintain it whatsoever after my mom passed, and most of the money would be going to funding our retirement. I just feel like this is the right thing to do here. Am I the idiot here? Not the idiot. While you 2 are married, this is your inherited home. You can choose to do with it whatever you want. If the extra $15,000 is needed, then at least take that into consideration. However, me personally, I've always been inclined to help someone if I have the means. You're still coming out on top by 30 or 35,000 and a family gets a home that they can live in for however long, be safe with good schools and make their money back if they do choose to sell. With that being said, if you two are financially stable, have a sit down with your wife and explain you morally can't justify giving it to someone who only wants it for money. Not the idiot. Yeah, it's 15 or 20,000 you're leaving on the table, but it doesn't sound like you guys are massively in need of it. The neighbours will appreciate having an owner over a renter and probably over a house flipper too. It's kind of you to think of them. You are the idiot. I really appreciate the sentiment, but as soon as I read ethnic, my agent alarm bells went full 5-alarm emergency doomsday scenario. That is 100% breaking fair housing laws, and the other potential buyers could absolutely sue you and your agent, if you have one, for selecting a buyer based on protected class, even if it's their favour. You are the idiot. I'd be frustrated too if my wife threw away 15 or 20,000. Once the house is out of your hands, it's not really relevant who's living there. I'm 18 male and the oldest of 5 siblings. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Our mum is, well, not the best, let's put it that way. I'm sure she has some kind of severe mental health issues, but she absolutely refuses to accept that or get diagnosed. She has more issues and will go on benders for weeks sometimes, and has these prolonged manic episodes where she does things like blowing all of our money on designer stuff and gadgets, and even vehicles, but doesn't pay the bills or buy food or anything. It's been this way since I was little. It's all I've ever known, really. She has this pattern when she's had babies where for like 6 months or so she turns into Mother of the Year and is super attentive and stuff, but then the novelty of the new baby wears off and she's back to the same old mum. Since I was a kid and the oldest younger sister was born, I've been picking up the slack. It means I've had to give up, miss out on a lot, and had to grow up very, very fast. We're at a point now where the kids are old enough they don't need constant supervision and can be a little bit independent, and I can have something of a normal life. I've got a boyfriend now and I'm meant to be going to university, albeit at a school close enough I can stay in the same city, in September. Or I was, until a few days ago when Mum excitedly told me she's pregnant again and due in September. I did not react well. At first I asked if she was joking, and when I realised she wasn't, I got kind of angry. I shouted a bit that it was so selfish of her to have another kid when she can't take care of the one she's got, and I can't believe that she'd do this to me. I'm not now going to be able to move out for uni because I can't in good faith leave a newborn alone in that situation. I'm also going to have to give up any semblance of a social life I have, and I'm basically back to square one. I raised my voice and ended up crying. She got upset with me, said I spoiled what should be a good thing, and said I was being a selfish idiot who's making it all about me. I've been ruminating on it and I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe I did kind of overreact. Am I the idiot for getting upset? Not the idiot. The burden of raising these kids has been on you, so it seems natural that you would make her pregnancy announcement about you. If you let it happen, then you will be the one raising this kid. On that note, move out for university, develop a life, and report your mom to Children's Services. You may think you can do a good job taking care of all these kids, but you are basically a kid yourself, and you didn't make the irresponsible decision to have kids you don't want to raise. Not the idiot. If you aren't there to clean up after her, she might actually step up. If not call Childline, but definitely go to uni. It's not your baby and you need to make sure you're in the best position possible in life, especially if your siblings are all younger and looking up to you. Not the idiot, but get out. You can't stay for the next 10 or 15 years to take care of this child. Or the next. It is not on you. If the child or your siblings are ignored when you leave, keep in contact and report her. Have the authorities make her do her job or get the help she needs, or if necessary, help them find better placement.